morning. Welcome back to the Broken Farm. My name is BJ and it has been a few days since I've done any videoing. Today is actually Wednesday. It is June 29th and we've kind of had a busy past week and a half. Nothing really major, but we have done a few different things on the farm. And just because we haven't had like a full scheduled work day, it's been hard to do any videoing. But let me get you caught up on what we've done here on the farm. I don't think anything major has been done. Shawn did spend a few hours one of the days down by the driveway. There is an old sign from the old farm that used to be here, and sorry about that. And there were a lot of weeds and rocks, and it had kind of grown up around the old sign. So he spent he spent a couple hours with Bailey one day cleaning up that area. So he did do some work down there. I would show it to you, but it's not all that interesting. And then let's see, what else have we gotten done? We did get our stove delivered. Well, we didn't get it delivered. We picked it up from Lowe's last week, I think on Tuesday, and it's here in the house. I'll take you inside and show it to you, but it's not hooked up yet. The propane, we're getting a 500-gallon propane tank, and that is going to be delivered tomorrow. So tomorrow is when my stove will be up and working, so that's good. And if you can see, the puppies are sleeping under the trailer. That's where they like to sleep most days. So let me take you inside and I'll show you the stove in the kitchen. So just walking through here, and all right, let me turn this camera around so I can show you the stove. All right, there she is. That is the stove that we ordered. It's made by a company called Unique, and we liked the kind of the retro look of it. It's pretty simple. It's a gas stove, but Shawn converted it over to propane since we don't have natural gas available to us. So it just has the 4 burners, and then I like how simple all the controls are. Here is a fan. It's a convection oven, and there's a little light, and then inside is a nice clean new oven, and there's a little storage drawer. It's actually a warming drawer down there. The nice thing about this stove, the company that makes it, they also make an off-grid stove that is completely propane. And this stove does plug in, but the reason why we picked it is because if there were ever any type of power outage, obviously you could just light the burners with a match. And then you can also do the same thing with the oven. So right down there, I'm not sure where it is, but Shawn was able to find it. He actually called and spoke to the manufacturer, and they said that they've created the stove in such a way that if there were no electricity, the electricity for the stove only powers the igniters and the light for the oven, but you can light it with a match down there. So this stove will function for us if we were without power. So that's really nice. So we're just waiting on the propane tank to be delivered and for the propane to hook up. But like I said, Shawn already converted it from gas to propane, so it's ready to go. And let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we've done. I've done a little more freeze drying, nothing really unusual. I freeze dried a bunch of garlic. I finally got my garlic done. I was really nervous about doing it because from what some people have said, when you freeze dry garlic, it can make your whole freeze dryer smell like garlic. And my basement does have a little garlic smell to it. I just did this yesterday, but it's not overwhelming and it's not terrible. So I finally got to do some garlic, and with the garlic, I made my own garlic powder. So I blended some of it up in my Vitamix, and I was able to make my own garlic powder. So I'm excited about that. And let's see, other than that, I don't think too much else, but there is another major development. So let me go into the other room and show you about our other major development. So here they are. I got my chicks. We have 11 chicks in here. and we got them Monday. So we've had them for 2 days now, and we are in love with them. They're so cute. They're so messy, but that's chicks for you, right? So we got them at Tractor Supply, a couple of different Tractor Supplies actually, because of the breeds. I kind of wanted to get some different breeds. So 4 of them are Americanas. I have 2, so, whoa, that's a first. Okay, so you can fly, okay. Whoops. So that one is a Barred Rock. So I have 2 Barred Rock. I have 2 Silver Lace Wyandottes, 4 Americanas. I have that one right there is a Rhode Island Red. He was a straight run, so we're pretty sure he's a rooster. But that's fine because we wanted a rooster. And then 2 of those are Cinnamon Queen. I don't know which, I can't tell the Americanas from the Cinnamon Queen, but I probably could if I researched a little bit more. Well, that's interesting that you decided to fly up there, little Missy. So these chickens have been living in our back room. We just kind of have this, I think it's a small animal pen back here, and it's worked out really well for us. Coco loves the chicks. She loves the chicks. But the problem with her loving the chicks is she wants to lick them, which is fine. They don't seem to mind it. But okay, so yeah, so you're a little flighty. So I see you wanting to fly away. Anyways, she wants to be with them all the time. So whenever we come back here to see them, I have a feeling he's going to try to fly out again. I'm going to put this lid back on. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. I zipped the top on it, so now he can't fly out. But anyways, when Coco comes back here, which she's usually, I'm surprised I made it out here without her down here with me. She just roams in this area and she barks because she wants to get up there and see them and lick them and play with them. So because we have our chicks now, we are preparing for a chicken coop. So let me take you outside and show you what Shawn is working on and what he has been working on. So last week he worked where the dogs are on leveling out that area, and we kind of were talking last night. We found the chicken coop that we want to get, and so we're gonna probably place it on, put it on order. I think it takes a couple weeks for it to be delivered, but so he cleared this area out, but for me personally, I don't really like how it's kind of in the middle of this. I think it should be off to the side. So today he says he's gonna work on trying to level out this area with the tractor and get this area over here level for us to put the coop and run. The coop that we're getting has a small run attached to it, but we will also probably at some point add on another run to it just to give them some more space. I do plan to free range them, but that's going to be a process to train them and get them going and kind of making us feel like we can trust them out. And we've also got to train these pups to protect them, and that's going to take some time. So until we are at that place, we've got to have a run for the chickens. So that's what he's working on today. This also right here, I can't remember if we decided this spot or over here is where we're gonna have them put the propane tank. So he's kind of working on this whole area back here. If you remember, if you watched any of our other videos from when we first moved in, there was a shed just like that one right here. So we've done a lot of work to get this area cleaned up, and he's working on it today. The girls and I are getting ready to leave because Natalie has her senior pictures today. So we're gonna get in the car and go. And when we get back, depending on what time it is and what we get into, I will pick up the camera again and show you what we're working on, or show you at least what Shawn got done today. And if not, then we will show you tomorrow, because I know that tomorrow we're gonna spend some more time out here working on the chicken coop area. But this is one of my tomato plants that I put in this pot, and I'm almost wondering if the pot is too small for it now, because it's a pretty big tomato plant. But if you can see, there are some little tomatoes on there, and there's a lot of tomatoes down in my garden. The dogs have found the garden area. They haven't found the tomatoes yet, but they have found the potatoes. So if you watched our last video, I think it was, I worked on kind of doing like a little Ruth Stout potato bed, just because I had these potatoes and they were getting ready to probably go bad. And I didn't really know what I was going to do with this area over here. But the dogs have found them, and they have pretty much dug up every potato that I put down in there. So we're not growing potatoes in there. But the rest of my tomato plants and stuff are doing well. Like I said, the dogs will go in there and I mean, Maverick will just sit down in there. He doesn't realize that there's food around him. So we're gonna have to, I know eventually we'll have to come up with some fencing to keep them out of there, because once I really get going at the garden, if it's not this year, then next year, those dogs will try to eat everything. So we're gonna go ahead and get going, and we will let you know what else we do today or tomorrow. Good morning. It is Thursday, and we're back out here doing some work this morning. We're probably not going to get a full day of work in today because we have a get-together with my new work tonight. And I think Shawn and I'll get into it in a minute, but I think we want to go look at a couple things. But I am here out on the porch with the baby chicks. They're in their little brooder right now. They're doing really well. They're starting to want to fly a little bit. I had one of them, this is the cord for their brooder, and one of them was perched up on the little cord this morning. It was kind of funny to see, but they're doing really good. They're getting bigger, and we're just loving having them. They are starting to smell though, so I think today one of my jobs in a few minutes is going to be to move them, clean this out, and then we'll start fresh and give them a little bit of a fresher area. So let me take you outside and show you what the girls and Shawn are working on this morning. We have the propane that is supposed to be coming sometime this morning. Not exactly sure when, so we're expecting them anytime now, hopefully soon. And so we're kind of working on this area that they're going to put the propane tank down, but also this is going to be where the chicken coop's going to go. And I said I would get into it later because I told you yesterday, or the last time I videoed, that we had a chicken coop picked out. And it's been, I mean, just like everything else, figuring out exactly what we're going to use for a chicken coop has been a little bit of a challenge. Mostly because we keep going back and forth between, do we want to buy one, do we want to make one, and if we buy one, what kind of a chicken coop do we want to buy? And you can buy them, you know, in a lot of places. The problem we run into, which is the whole problem that we've had since we moved out here to the farm, is that Shawn doesn't like the quality of most of the things that you can buy. So when we've gone and looked at some of the chicken coops, there's two problems. Number one, the quality, and number two, we have 11 chickens right now, and I know chicken math is a real thing, and I already want more. So most of the coops are built for smaller flocks. So we had gone and we picked one out the other day, and we were all set with that. And then last night Shawn was looking online and found some, not some more chicken coops, but he found some sheds that are all wood sheds. They're good quality, and we're playing and toying with the idea of going to look at those today because they can be transformed into a coop. But then there's also, that's one option, and then there's another one that we found that is a very large shed. It's actually, I think he said something like 10 by 24. So it's really long, and it could be divided to be half of it a chicken coop and half of it storage. And we really need storage. So we may go take a look at those today before we go ahead and purchase the other one that we had found. Thought we were gonna do that this morning, but we're gonna hold off on that, and we're gonna go take a look at those later on today after the propane tank gets installed. I also have to take Bailey over to get her permit because we want to get her started driving, And then we've got that get together tonight. So not gonna get too much done here on the farm, but let me turn this around and show you what they're working on right now. So this is the area that Shawn worked on yesterday. I had showed you this earlier. This is where he wanted to put the coop, or this is where he leveled it out. And I kind of vetoed that because I feel like it's too much of in the path of everything, and I didn't think we wanted to put it right there and block all of our path. So I told him that this is kind of where I envisioned it, and so yesterday he worked on leveling out that area. He did a great job, and there's just some leftover dirt and rocks and roots, and so that's kind of what the girls are working on now, is picking all of that stuff up, getting it bagged up, and Shawn is still working on this area because we think this is where we're going to put the propane tank. So I think that's the propane tank's gonna go here, and then this area will be for the chicken coop and run. And there's Maverick, he's supervising everything. I don't know where Harley is right now. Oh, Harley, those puppies, oh my goodness, they are hilarious, but they are such a mess. So Harley is over here, and she is not white right now because she loves, okay, so we've gone over all the different watering options. This was a big water dish I bought for them, and I was so proud of myself that I found it because it's big, it's heavy duty, they can't tip it. That's not the problem. The problem is they like to get in it. So then we moved to this bucket because Shawn's idea was they can't get into it quite as easily. But what Harley does, and there she is under there, and you can kind of see her front paws are like black, because what she does is she sticks both of her front paws into the water along with her head, and she splashes all around. And then after she does that, while she's soaking wet, she goes and she rolls in all of this mulch. And monkey see, monkey do, Maverick over there, he follows right along and does everything she does. So he does the same thing. And yesterday, because they were already dirty, I thought, oh, I'll go ahead and fill up their pool and give them some fresh, clean water so they can splash around there and hopefully clean off. And now that backfired. They just splashed in there, and then they actually went and ran and rolled around in the fresh mud and area that Shawn had just cleared. So they're pretty funny, but they're dirty almost all the time. And we gave them a bath on Monday because we had to take them to the vet. So they were nice and clean and fluffy, and now they're dirty and dog-like, I guess. But they're dogs. I guess that's what they're supposed to be. So they're doing really good. This is their favorite laying spot down here underneath the trailer. And if you can see, this tomato plant has some tomatoes growing there. I think I showed you those the other day. I'm going to take you down and show you my garden area because I have a lot of tomatoes that are growing in there, which some of them are going slower than others, which I think is fine because that'll just let me have tomatoes for a longer period of time, maybe? I don't know. But it seems to me like all of these plants are doing well. And I have a few more that I still have to plant. Let me take you around this way. This is where I was putting, and I know this is like jungle looking, and it really is, but again, it's not where our attention is right now. So we'll fix this eventually. But this is where I was putting some of those buckets. These tomato plants right here are the ones that were kind of my discards. These were ones that I just didn't have a place to put. They were the weakest looking out of all the plants I had, and I was really just kind of letting them die, and Shawn insisted on saving them. So he insisted I plant them, so I've planted them here. These are the neglected plants, and I needed to get some more dirt, which I have, so I need to put some in there, and then I didn't have enough space, so he needs to give me a scoop of dirt in there, and then I can plant out the rest of those. So that's what those plants are doing. And then we go down here to my bigger jungle. This will be beautiful someday, but not today. Come down here. Some of these plants I've staked up, and some of them I just decided not to bother with. My mom's like, don't worry about it. Right now they're looking kind of bad because it's hot And I usually, just because I usually don't remember to get out here in the morning, I water them in the evening. So between like 7 and 8 o'clock is when I'll water them. So they perk up then, but right now it's hot out here. And we haven't had a lot of rain. So, but there's a lot of tomatoes in there. You can kind of see, let me see. I can see a bunch down there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a bunch down in there. And a bunch kind of hiding in there. The nice thing, knock on wood, where is some wood? Knock on wood, we haven't had any deer coming in and munching out in here. The only issue that we've had really is the dogs. And they come out and they like to eat my potatoes. So I don't have any potatoes growing, which is fine. They were just kind of an experiment. This is my most full couple tomato plants. And let me show you what's going on down here. So there's where all the potatoes they had kind of dug up and they're eating them. But these are just the plants, and I originally we were gonna get one of those cattle panels to kind of trellis these tomato plants up, and we have not gotten around to it. So I think we're just gonna kind of let them do their thing. They're standing up pretty tall right now. I know when they get heavier, they'll probably fall over, but I don't think that's, I think that's okay. It's not ideal, but again, this is the year of learning. So we've got a lot of different tomatoes in here, and that's a good thing. But anyways, I'm going to try to get those other tomato plants planted, and Shawn and the girls are going to continue to work. He told them they would be done in an hour, so they don't have much time to get to work, and hopefully we'll get our propane tank in and installed. So there is a giant rock in the middle of the field where the chicken coop will go that they are trying to get out right now. They were working on this outside. I cleaned out the chicks' little housing that Natalie's in there with them. She's playing with a chick right now. I cleaned that all out, so they got fresh bedding, water, food, everything. And the girls just took out the igloo out of this pen. The dogs aren't using the igloo, which is fine. I think it's primarily for wintertime to keep them warm, but they don't go in it. So what we've decided to do, this is what they've been sleeping on, which we had on the front porch. And the last 2 mornings, Shawn and I, yesterday for me and today for him, because they're in there and we lock them up at night, one of the dogs, we think it's Maverick, he pees in there, and we both got a shower of pee this morning, which was not fun. They just get so excited to see us and they splash around in it. And so what we're gonna try tonight and see if this works, because they're so little still, we don't feel comfortable letting them roam out at night because they could not defend themselves against a coyote at this point, we don't think. We still wanna have them locked up at night. So what we're gonna do, because we have this big poultry pen, is tonight, we're just gonna lock them in the pen. So this will be in here, but it's not gonna be locked. I just cleaned out the bottom of it, and so that's drying, and we'll put that in there. they're used to sleeping in that, so I wanted them to have that in here. But we'll just keep them in this enclosed area. We're gonna take out their water at night so they can't just drink and drink and drink and have to pee until we get out in the morning to let them out. But we're gonna try that because we're tired of getting showered on by Maverick's pee. Could be Harley, but we suspect it's Maverick. And Shawn just took a scoop of dirt over to my yellow bucket that I needed to plant in. So I'm gonna go and plant those last three tomato plants in there. Here he comes back around. We're still waiting on the propane guy, so hopefully he'll come soon so we can get moving on with our day. The guys are here putting in the propane tank, or the propane tank. Bailey's complaining about it because she says it's so ugly. And we're also, our refrigerator's been moved out because back in there, they're going to plumb that so we can get some propane fire logs. We didn't even know those were a thing, but when we went into their showroom, they had a bunch of propane fire logs that actually heat the room. So we're gonna do that in here. We're gonna have that plumbed, and we're also going to have the girls' room plumbed. We're not gonna do this one. This one's gonna stay a wood burning fireplace, but, oops, sorry. The girls' room fireplace here, we're gonna have this one plumbed so they can have some propane fire logs too. So the logs actually put off the heat, and that will warm their room, and it will look like fire logs, which we've never really liked, but we didn't think they served a purpose. So now that we know they actually heat, and they'll heat the room. Coco, get out of there, honey. Coco, no, no, no. That's what we're gonna do for heat for this room versus having a propane heater, because I think those are ugly. So that's what they're setting down the tank now, getting it all hooked up. Then they're gonna come in and plumb our stove. Hang on, Shawn's calling me. So that's what we're working on right now, is we're letting them do their thing and get us hooked up, and by the end of the day I'll have a stove and a oven I can actually use. Not that I really want to use the oven because it's hot outside, but I might have to in the morning because we need some baked goods in here. All right, our propane tank is in. It's all hooked up and everything. We don't have it completely filled. I guess he said he put 20 pounds in there, and that's just for tonight. He said he's gonna come back out and fill up the whole thing. So we're excited that we've got that in. He ran the two lines for the fireplaces, so in the winter when we decide to get the fire logs or the propane logs, we can hook those up. He also hooked up the grill. So now the grill is hooked up to that tank, and we don't have to have the little propane tank there. So that'll be nice, and then we can use the propane tank for that grill with my little propane stove that's up front. And I think that eventually is gonna move back here, so this will kind of be like a little outdoor kitchen area. And at some point we'll get some type of covering for this, but I think for right now it's fine. And now that I have a stove, I'm gonna go in and bake some brownies. Good morning, guys. Today is, I was gonna say it was Friday, but I think it's Saturday, July 2nd. And I know I've not been the best videoer this week. We kind of had a couple days where we were just busy running errands and we didn't do too much out here to make it video worthy. So let me get you caught up on what we've done. I know I showed you in our last couple days ago that we got our chicks, and They're doing great. They're still inside in their brooder, and they will be there for, I don't know, however long we can keep them in there. They're getting bigger, so it's fun to watch them get bigger. I also ordered a little playpen for them. I think that's what this is. This was delivered yesterday. I think it's like one of the, it's for dogs, or I guess any kind of animal, a little playpen, so that in the next few weeks we can get them out here. I'll probably put them out here in the grass, let them kind of do some scratching around and just being outside and getting kind of used to being outside. So we'll do that during the daytime, and then obviously they'll be in their pen or their little brooder at night. And I know I mentioned before that Shawn and I had picked out a coop that we were gonna purchase, and we were talking about it, thinking about it, and this whole process has been an ordeal. If you have, I don't know, maybe we're just the only crazy ones that do this to ourselves, but we were trying to decide from the get-go whether we wanted to build a coop or buy a coop. And then when it came down to buying a coop, whether we're gonna go with something new, we were gonna find something pre-owned. And the problem with buying something that someone was getting rid of is that you have to transport it. And with the amount of chickens that we have 11 right now. I'll talk about that in a second. But I gotta move out of the way because Shawn's coming by with the tractor. But with the amount of chickens that we have, a lot of the coops that you can buy that are either already put together or that you can just, you know, you can get it like Tractor Supply or whatever, they're not for that many chickens. Most of the ones like you see at Lowe's even, they're for like 4 to 6 chickens. So because I knew that, number one, we have 11 chickens right now, and I want to be able to grow into them. I anticipate that I will be the crazy chicken lady. But anyways, I wanted to be able to have a coop that would be big enough for me to get a few more chickens on down the line. So we were trying to decide what we were gonna do. I think I mentioned the other day that we did have one picked out, and we ended up, I think what happened was I decided we were gonna order it. I went ahead and called them, and they just had a lot of fees that we were gonna have to pay for delivery and for just other payment type fees and stuff. And it kind of like, you know, we were like, I don't know, maybe we want to back up. So we ended up spending, was it yesterday? Yes, we ended up spending yesterday pretty much all day going and looking at some more coops. We did end up ordering one, and unfortunately they didn't have the one that we wanted in stock, so they have to make it. So it's going to be about 6 weeks. She told us 6 to 8 weeks, probably closer to 6 weeks. But so hopefully we'll be okay with the chickens being inside the brooder for that long. I'm probably going to have to get another brooder or another something to put them in. I was watching a YouTube video where a woman was using a watermelon box, so I might see if I can try to find something like that. But anyways, we'll make do until the chicken coop comes. So let's see, what else have we been working on? Okay, so let me tell you what Shawn is working on right now. And before I do, I just want to make a little comment, because I've talked to a few people, we've had a few comments. A lot of people are curious about what we're doing on the inside of the farmhouse. And in all honesty, there's really not a ton of inside stuff that we've been doing lately. And it frustrates a lot of our family because they're concerned about why we haven't worked on the bathroom. So let me tell you a little bit about why we haven't been working on the bathroom. I think when Shawn and I talk about it, and you know, at the end of the day, and he's trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to attack tomorrow, or what is our next big project? The bathroom issue is not a pressing issue for us. We have all of the things that we need. We have a toilet, we have a sink, we have a shower. And even though it's not ideal and they're not all in one spot, we haven't had any problems operating well with the things that we have. So the shower works fine, the sink works fine, and the toilet works fine. So although, yes, we are going to get the a bathroom, and that will probably be the first main thing that we do in the kitchen, or in the farmhouse, although the kitchen now is starting to become a little bit more of a priority than the bathroom, so that might be worked on first. But we're just kind of going with what is the most pressing need at the moment. Inside the house, lately, the most pressing needs have been outlets, have been power. And when I'm in the kitchen cooking and I've got to unplug 3 million things or make sure that this is turned off in order for me to run this thing, that's more of a pressing issue for me. I would rather have it where I can go and use an appliance and not have to worry that I'm going to pop a breaker or that I'm going to, you know, set the house on fire. I know that that's probably not going to happen. But anyways, so that has been what Shawn has been working on the inside primarily. We've also been working on organization inside. So for example, when he did the pantry and he put the shelves in there, that was one of the things that was driving me crazy because I didn't have enough room to put all of our things. So he's working on those things. The other day he added another outlet to our bedroom. So now we have 3 outlets in our bedroom, which before we only had 1, and we had power strips running on the floors, and you know, and we were tripping over them every time we walked. So those are the kinds of things that we're tackling first in the house. And now we're working on the things outside that, again, are kind of those pressing issues, the things that are driving us crazy at the moment. And that's kind of how we're taking everything. Like I said, the goal was the bathroom was going to be done before our summer break was over. I know that's not going to happen now. But now, you know, there's a little bit of frustration that I have with the kitchen because I have been using my kitchen table as a counter, but it's kind of irritating. And, you know, now I'm starting to do some more canning and getting some things on the shelves, and I'm running out of shelves. So there might be, and I think I showed you, we got our stove in the other day, and I used it. I made brownies, and yesterday I made spaghetti, and I always do baked spaghetti, so I was able to bake it in the oven. That was nice. But we have a hood that we got that goes with the stove, and we can't put the hood up until we get cabinets up there. So that might be one of the things that we work on next. So that's just kind of a rundown of why we're not tackling the bathroom and why we're kind of doing the jobs that we're doing at the moment, because for us, it's the most pressing needs. And we're fine with it. Like I said, I mean, we're surviving here. We're not, you know, we're not hurting in any area. So that's just kind of what we're doing. So back to what is Shawn working on today. Shawn is working on a couple projects. We're trying to kind of make a little patio area here for our grill. And this is another one of the things that is pressing, what we feel is a pressing issue right now is lighting out here. So this is the side of the house right here. And this is the door that we use most of the time. And we do go in the front door, but most of the time we're coming in and out this door. And at night, this whole side of the house is pitch black and it's dark. And so if you're coming, you know, if we get home from going somewhere and we come and it's dark out here, we can't see anything, can't see where you're stepping or anything. So we did try to have a solar light. I think we showed it to you before, and put it right there above that door. The problem is this doesn't see any sun, so it wasn't working. So Shawn did move that solar light down to the door that goes into the basement. But now what he's gonna work on, and we just went to Lowe's yesterday and we bought a couple lights. He's gonna hang a light there, and then he's going to put another one kind of over here because this is gonna be our grill area. So we bought these big pavers yesterday, and he's working on clearing out the mulch that he put down and flattening this area out. And then we'll kind of make a little makeshift patio for the grill. We're also gonna move my little camp stove back here and kind of make this like an outdoor kitchen area. So that's the goal for this area. And then the other day, I showed you that we got our propane tank delivered, and yesterday Shawn came over here. They didn't fill the tank. They only put in 20 gallons for right now. They're going to come back next week and fill it. But this side right here, this side right here, they kind of did like makeshift blocks. They had some pieces of blocks, and it was just driving Shawn crazy. So we stopped at Lowe's yesterday. He got the blocks, and then he came home yesterday, used his tractor to lift up the tank, and he swapped them out and now made it look a little bit better. I mean, you know, how good can a big giant tank in your yard look? But anyways, and then this down here is the chicken coop area. And with our chicken coop that we ordered, we're gonna have to figure out a run for it. We're trying to decide if we're gonna use that poultry pen that the dogs are in over there as the chicken run, or if we're gonna build something, a separate run back here. So we still have to figure out exactly how we're gonna situate the chicken coop and the run here, and kind of work out this whole area. So, but he did grade it out, flatten it out. We've kind of got two levels here. There's this level right down here, and then this higher level right here. So that's what he's working on, and I'm going to go, there's farmer's market that I need to go by this morning because they have some fresh blueberries and blackberries, and I want to get some of those because this is going to be the last weekend that they're going to have them. And then I mentioned earlier, I kind of was joking about how many chickens we have. We have 11, but I want to get a couple more. So there's a place that I'm going to go, and they've got some Easter eggers. So I'm going to go get 2 of those because I want the colorful egg basket. So I'm doing that, and then when we get home, I soaked some Great Northern beans that I'm going to can and do a few things on the inside. So I will let you know how the day goes and show you the work that we get done. All right, Bailey and I just got back from running our errands, and we ended up with 4 more chicks. So the goal was to go out and get 2 more, but I forgot that Tractor Supply had a 4 chick minimum. So I got the go ahead from Shawn. You can see this one is new, that one, the other yellow one, and sorry, I got Coco in my hand. She's shaking like crazy. Let me put her down real quick. This little guy right there, that one right there, is a new one. I think that's an Easter egger. They said that they were out of Easter eggers, but he was in with the Americanas, and he does not look like or she, hopefully it's a she. She does not look like an Americana. So these are the 4 new ones right here. Those 3 there, those are the Starlight green eggers, and then that little guy little girl right there is an Americana. So these other guys are getting bigger. Hammer, wherever Hammer went, Hammer is right there. She was just up here trying to fly out, try to jump up to the rim here, which I'm sure they will be soon. But we're enjoying having them. We like coming in. We're making sure to pick them up once a day or more and play with them so that they are friendly chicks. And let me take you outside and show you what Shawn worked on while we were gone. Bailey's gonna babysit these guys since I have the top off. So he's still working on it because I had to pick up some more of these pavers. So let me back up so you can see a little bit better. So that's the area where our grill is gonna go. Right there. So that is what the little grill pad looks like. I think we're probably gonna get 3 more of the pavers to put down here just to make this area a little bit bigger. And then I also want to continue it out a little bit further so I can bring my Camp Chef propane stove over here too. Right now it's still on the porch and I want to get it off of there. So I think that's going to be something that we're going to work on over the next couple days. I know another job that Shawn was working on was he was trying to do the electrical for the light we're going to put over the door and over the grill. And there's a switch inside the kitchen that we have, and it will operate a light out here. But as he got into trying to wire that, he found there were some crazy things going on with the wiring. So it's kind of like he's in the middle of that job, and I think he has a guy that is a buddy of his that's going to come out tomorrow and help him with it. He's an electrician, and Shawn, you know, Shawn can do a lot of electrical work. The problem with this job is that it's already existing wiring, so it's hard to figure out what has been done. If it was brand new and he was starting from scratch, then he would be able to do it from scratch. But since he's trying to figure out what somebody else has done and you can't see all of the wiring, then that's where it's a little bit tricky. So that's probably going to be what he's going to work on tomorrow. And I've got some beans that are cooking in there. I'm going to get ready to can those up and get working on that project. We also, at the farmer's market that we went to, we bought a gallon of blueberries and a gallon of blackberries. So I'm going to work on getting some of those preserved up, and that's probably going to be what we're going to do for the rest of the day. So I'm probably going to go ahead and close out this video for today, just because we're going to be doing some not so interesting stuff for the rest of the day. Natalie has to go to work here in about 20 minutes, so I'm going to have to leave to take her. And then I think Shawn's probably going to take a shower and be done for the day. So thank you for watching along, and we will let you know what we get into this weekend. Tomorrow, like I said, we're probably going to be doing some electrical work, and then on Monday is the 4th of July, so we'll probably take that day off and take it easy. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.